take priority. Well, joining us now, Senior Lecturer in Sustainable Construction and Climate Change at Sheffield Hallam University, John Grant. John, thanks very much for taking the time to speak to us. How important is it that a Prime Minister attends these events?
Well, in principle, this is the most important topic that humanity is facing at the moment. This is a climate emergency. There's no debate about that, and the fact that our leader should be committed to dealing with that is sort of a key element. My concern is that economic growth is the priority of our current Prime Minister, not addressing this key challenge. And so, maybe he could actually make it worse by attending if they're going to make out that exploring for more oil and gas is actually part of this process of addressing this climate emergency.
In terms of trying to sort of turn the political debate, you mean?
Yeah. Well, in the last COP, they managed to mention coal for the first time in 26 meetings. They specifically mentioned a type of fossil fuel, and it was my hope that this COP, this 27th COP, would mention the other two and talk about really pulling back on our use of those and coming up with a strategy for having a zero carbon by 2050 and hitting our ceiling by the middle of this decade, which is an extraordinary ask. But it's the ask that the scientific community is putting out there if we've got any chance. And I think we need a Prime Minister that's committed to that. But like I said, it's difficult to comment because the chap's only been there for a few days and he seems to be driven by economic growth at all costs rather than the kind of economic growth that we can grasp by this adaptation to a zero carbon economy.
Yeah, although they have indicated that part of the growth plans would be sustainable, renewable energy and nuclear as well. And I know that's a sort of different argument. But the other aspect, of course, is that King Charles is not going. Now, what does this give as a political signal to the scientific community and the rest of the world?
Well, I don't think you need to ask me that. King Charles has been at the forefront of our agenda of establishing how serious this agenda is, and I was just shocked when I heard that he was, so it seems, told not to attend. I thought our king was really sort of passionate about this, and I'd like to hear what the underlying reason as to why our king isn't allowed to talk to these leaders. I know he seems to have invited some over to do something parallel or something, but it is breathtakingly embarrassing that a man with such standing in the international community has been asked by our government not to attend. I can't believe that he doesn't want to attend.
What do you make about the criticism? I mean, I think Jacob Rees-Mogg has said this previously, that a lot of it is virtue signalling and then perhaps a lot doesn't get done. There is just a talking shop.
Well, I didn't think I'd ever say this, that I might agree with him, that so far, 26 meetings, we're going into 27, it has been a talking shop. That doesn't mean that we can't use this to do good. Every time they meet, I hope and that people will see the urgency of this, and rather than talk about it, actually act on their commitments. I don't think there's anything else, sadly, that we can use. There's nothing in place. If there was something else, well, yeah, maybe. But the COP is what we've decided to use as our direction, where we voice our concerns, and more importantly, where we establish our commitment to what we're going to do in the future, and let's hope we can.